Okay, I know I'm a little late. 1 minute to be exact, but I think we'll live. Today, we are in our third day of reading the American classic Diary of a Wimpy Kid in our series Storytime with Two Seater. My name's Caleb. I'm the director and producer of Two Seater, and I'm here to read for a little bit. Feel free to leave this on in the background of anything you're doing to relax. Maybe if my voice is relaxing. If not, you don't have to. You can stay engaged the whole time. While I'm reading, feel free to ask any questions you want about the book, about Two Seater, about me, whatever you want. It's all good. I'm just here to get involved with everyone on YouTube who supports us because it really means a lot when you see comments and likes and stuff on the videos because it shows your work means something. All right, here we are. Let's begin. November, Thursday. On the bus ride home into school, on the bus ride into school today, we passed by Grandma's house. It got rolled with toilet paper last night, which I guess was no big surprise. This was Halloween, and they hid at the house where the teenagers tried to get them. I do feel a little bit bad because it looked like it was going to take a long time to clean up. But on the bright side, Grandma is retired, so she probably didn't have anything planned for today anyway. Wednesday. In third period, Mr. Underwood, our physical education teacher, announced that the boys will be doing a wrestling unit for the next 6 weeks. If there's one thing most boys in my school are into, it's professional wrestling. So Mr. Underwood might as well have set off a bomb. Lunch comes right after PE, and the cafeteria was a madhouse. I don't know what the school is thinking having a wrestling unit, but I decided if I don't want to get twisted into a pretzel for the next month and a half, I better do my homework on this wrestling business. So I rented a couple of video games to learn some moves. And you know what? After a while, I was really starting to get the hang of it. Oh, dang. Greg kind of getting crazy. In fact, the other kids in my class had better look out because if I keep this up, I could be a real threat. Sure. Then again, I better make sure I don't do too good. This kid named Preston Mudd got named Athlete of the Month for being best player in basketball unit. So they put his picture up in the hallway. It took people about 5 seconds to realize how P Mud sounded when you said it out loud. And after that, it was all over for Preston. P Mud, P Mud. Thursday. Well, I found out today that the kind of wrestling Mr. Underwood was teaching is completely different from the kind they do on TV. First of all, we have to wear these things called singlets, which look like those bathing suits they used to wear in the 1800s. Oh my. Okay, fun fact, I wrestled in high school on varsity. You had to wear a singlet. It's not comfortable. It's not flattering, really, for anyone. You could be shredded and it wouldn't be flattering. But you move on. And second of all, there are no pile drivers or hitting people over the heads with chairs or anything like that. There's not even a ring with ropes around it. It's just basically a sweaty mat that smells like it's never been washed before. Mr. Underwood started asking for volunteers so he could demonstrate some wrestling holds, but there was no way I was going to raise my hand. Me and Raleigh tried to hide out in the back of the gym near the curtain, but that's where the girls were doing their gymnastics unit. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. We got out of there in a hurry, and we went back to where the rest of the guys were. Mr. Underwood singled me out, probably because I'm the lightest kid in the class, and he could toss me around without straining himself. He showed everybody how to do all these things called a half Nelson and a reversal and a takedown and stuff like that. When he was doing this one move called the fireman's carry, I felt a breeze down below, and I could tell my singlet wasn't doing a good job of keeping me covered up. That's when I thanked my lucky stars the girls were on the other side of the gym. Oh my. Mr. Underwood divided us up into weight groups. I was pretty happy about that at first because it meant I wasn't going to have to wrestle kids like Benny Wells, who had who can bench press 250 pounds. But when I found out who I did have to wrestle, I could have traded Benny Wells in a heartbeat. Greg, you'll be paired with Fregley here. Fregley was the only kid light enough to be my weight class, and apparently Fregley was paying attention when Mr. Underwood was giving instructions, because he pinned me every which way you could imagine. I spent my 7th period getting way more familiar with Fregley than I ever wanted to be. Tuesday. This wrestling unit has totally turned our school upside down. Now kids are wrestling in the hallways, in the classrooms, you name it. But the 15 minutes after lunch where they let us outside is the worst. You can't walk 5 feet without tripping over a couple of kids going at it. I just try to keep my distance, and mark my words, one of these fools is going to roll right onto the cheese and start the cheese touch over again. Oh my, bro, this kid's sitting on top of him. My other big problem is that I have to wrestle Fregley every single day. But this morning I realized something. If I can move out of Fregley's weight class, I won't have to wrestle him anymore. So today I stuffed my clothes with a bunch of socks and shirts to get myself into the next weight class. But I was still too light to move up. I realized I was going to have to gain weight for real. At first I thought I should just start loading up on junk food, but then I had a better idea. There's Greg with the socks in his clothes. Interesting. I decided to gain my weight in muscle, not fat. I've never been all that interested in getting in shape before, but this wrestling unit has made me rethink things. I figure if I bulk up now, I could actually become handy down the road. The football unit is coming up in the spring, and they split the teams into shirts and skins, and I always get put on skins. I think they do that to make all the out-of-shape kids feel ashamed of themselves. If I can pack on some muscle now, it'll be a whole different story next April. Greg, you're on skins. And he rips his own shirt off merely by flexing. I did that once with one shirt, but it was like a smaller medium. Wasn't worth it. Tonight after dinner, I got mom and dad together and told them my plan. I told them I was going to need some serious exercise equipment and some weight gain powder too. I showed them some muscle magazines I got at the store so they could see how ripped I was going to be. Mom didn't really say anything at first, but Dad was pretty enthusiastic. I think he just was glad I had a change of heart from how I used to be when I was a kid. If you work out regularly, you can build big muscles. Muscles are gross. Work out. It's worth it. But Mom said if I wanted a weight set, I was going to have to prove that I could stick with an exercise regimen. She said I could do that by doing sit-ups and jumping jacks for 2 weeks. If I had to explain that the only way to get totally bulked up is to get the kind of high-tech machines they had at the gym, but Mom didn't want to hear it. Then Dad said if I wanted a bench press, I should keep my fingers crossed for Christmas. But Christmas is a month and a half away, and if I get pinned by Fregley one more time, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. So it looks like Mom and Dad aren't going to be any help. And that means I'm going to have to take matters into my own hands, as usual. Saturday. I couldn't wait to start my I couldn't wait to start my weight training program today. Even though Mom wouldn't let me get the equipment I needed, I wasn't going to let that hold me back. So I went into the fridge and emptied out the milk and orange juice and filled the jugs with sand, and I taped them to a broomstick and I had myself a pretty decent barbell. Let me say, it looks not good. I would say it is. And if that's the bare minimum of what you have, I'd try it out. After that, I made a bench press out of an ironing board and some boxes. Ooh. Ironing board is probably not your best bet. Use a bench or something. Once I had that all set, I was ready to do some serious lifting. I needed a spotting partner, so I called Rowley, and that's when he showed up at my door wearing some ridiculous getup. I knew I had made a mistake inviting him. Rowley needs a life coach, a wake up call, something. I made Rowley use the bench press first, mostly because I wanted to see if the broomstick was going to hold up. He did about 5 reps and he was ready to quit, but I wouldn't let him. That's what a good training partner is for, to push you beyond your limits. That's actually true. 15 more, come on. 15 more? I wonder what music they're playing. I knew Rowley wasn't going to be as serious about weightlifting as I was, so I decided to try out an experiment to test his dedication. In the middle of Rowley's set, I went and got this phony nose and mustache Roderick had put in his junk drawer. And right when Rowley had the barbell in the down position, I leaned forward and looked at him. That's insane. Sure enough, Rowley totally lost his concentration. He couldn't even get the barbell off his chest. I thought about helping him, but then I realized that if Rowley didn't get serious about working out, he was never going to get to my level. Guy hasn't done 1 rep. Just saying. I eventually had to rescue him because he started biting the milk jug to let the sand leak out. Oh my. After Rowley got off the bench press, it was time for my set. But Rowley said he didn't feel like working out anymore, and he went home. You know, I figured he'd pull something like that, but I guess you never can expect everyone to have the same kind of dedication as you. This kid is stupid. Wednesday. Oh my. Today in geography, we had a quiz, and I have to say, I've been looking forward to this one for a long time. The quiz was on state capitals, and I sit in the back of the room right next to this giant map of the United States. All the capitals are written in big red print, so I knew I had this one in the back. You know, there may have been 1 or 2 classes where, like, I sat near something and I knew it was going to help me out. Did I say anything? No. But right before the test got started, Patty Farrell piped up from the front of the room. Teacher, teacher! Patty told Mr. Ira that he should cover up the United States map before we got started. Nice catch, Patty. There's Patty being a stupid snitch. And then there's Mr. Ira acknowledging her snitch tendencies. So thanks to Patty, I ended up flunking the quiz. And I will definitely be looking for a way to pay her back for that one. Thursday. Tonight, Mom came up to my room and she had a flyer in her hand. As soon as I saw it, I knew exactly what it was. It was an announcement that the school is having tryouts for a winter play. Man, I should have thrown that thing out when I saw it on the kitchen table. Oh, I have these in. I begged for her to not make me sign up. Those school plays are always musicals, and the last thing I need is to have to sing a solo in front of the whole school. But all my begging seemed to do was make my mom more sure I should do it. It's been, I don't remember the last time I begged for something on my knees, especially for my parents. It's not that I get everything I want, but it's not that I don't think my parents have forced me to do something like that where I hated it that much. If you were forced to do something like that, leave a comment. Mom said the only way I was going to be well-rounded was by trying different things. Dad came to my room to see what was going on. I told Dad that Mom was making me sign up for the school play. I almost yawned again. And that if I had to start going to play practices, it would totally mess up my weightlifting schedule. I knew that would make Dad take my side. Dad and Mom argued for a few minutes, but Dad was no match for Mom. So that means tomorrow I've got to audition for the school play. How? Friday, the play they're doing this year is The Wizard of Oz, and a lot of kids came wearing costumes for the parts they were trying out for. I've never even seen the movie, so for me, it was like walking into a freak show. That's interesting. I've seen The Wizard of Oz, the original one, numerous times, so I can't really think about what it would be like not knowing. Mrs. Norton, the music director, made everyone sing My Country 'Tis of Thee so she could hear our singing voices. My singing tryouts I did my singing tryouts with a bunch of other boys whose moms made them come too. I tried to sing as quietly as possible, but of course I got singled out anyway. What a lovely soprano! Ah! I have no idea what soprano is, but from the way some of the girls were giggling, I knew it wasn't a good thing. Tryouts went on forever. The grand finale came with auditions for Dorothy, who I guess is the lead character in the play. And who should try out first but Patty Farrell? I'm not even showing the picture. I thought about trying out for the part of the witch because I heard that in the play, the witch does all sorts of mean things to Dorothy. But then somebody told me there's a good witch and a bad witch. With my luck, I'd end up getting picked to be the good one. Monday. I was hoping Mrs. Norton would just cut me from the play, but today she said that everyone who tried out was going to get a part. So lucky me. Mrs. Norton showed the Wizard of Oz movie so everyone would know the story. I was trying to figure out what part I should play, but pretty much every character has to sing or dance at one point or another. But about halfway through the movie, I figured out what part I wanted to sign up for. I'm going to sign up to be a tree because 1, they don't have to sing, and 2, they get to beat Dorothy with apples. This is a rendition of what happened in the movie. Getting to peg Patty Farrell with apples in front of a live audience would be my dream come true, and I may actually have to thank Mom for making me do this play once it's all over. After the movie ended, I signed up to be a tree. Unfortunately, a bunch of other guys had the same idea as me, so I guess there are a lot of guys who had a bone to pick with Patty Farrell. Wednesday. Well, like my mom says, be careful what you wish for. I got picked to be a tree, but I didn't know that I didn't know if that's such a good thing. The tree costumes don't actually have armholes, so I guess that rules out any apple throwing. Wow. They really gotta put my boy in the tree. I should probably feel lucky that I got a speaking part at all. They had too many kids trying out and not enough roles, so they had to start making up characters. Rodney James tried out to be the Tin Man, but he got stuck being a shrub. No, Mom, it's okay. I enjoy it. In the movie, he looks different, and he's playing his Nintendo DS in the bush. Friday. Remember how I said I was lucky to get a speaking part? Well, today I found out I only have one line in the whole play. I say it when Dorothy picks an apple off my branch. Ouch. This kid. That means I have to go to a 2-hour practice every day just so I can say one stupid word. I'm starting to think Rodney James got a better deal as the shrub. He found a way to sneak a video game into his costume, and I'll bet that really makes the time go by. Kids posted. So now I'm trying to think of ways to get Mrs. Norton to kick me out of the play. But when you know you have one word to say, it's really hard to mess up your lines. Ouch. He's trying to progress his character, which is respectable. Nevertheless, just say ouch. December, Thursday. The play is only a couple days away, and I have no idea how we're going to pull this thing off. First of all, nobody has bothered to learn their lines. And that's all Mrs. Norton's fault. During rehearsal, Mrs. Norton whispers everyone's lines to them from the side of the stage. I get that you're pretty. I'll get you my pretty. No discrepancy there. I wonder how it's going to go next Tuesday when Mrs. Norton is sitting at her piano 30 feet away. Another thing that's screwing everything up is that Mrs. Norton keeps adding new scenes and new characters. Yesterday, she brought in this first grader to play Dorothy's dog, Toto. But today, the kid's mom came in and said she wanted her child to walk around on 2 legs because crawling around on all 4s would be too degrading. There's the kid And there's Karen. So now we've got a dog that's going to be walking around on his hind legs for the whole show. But the worst change is that Mrs. Norton actually wrote a song that us trees have to sing. She said everyone deserves a chance to sing in the play. So we spent an hour learning the worst song that's ever been written. We three trees, etc. Thank God Roderick won't be in the audience to see me humiliate myself. Mrs. Norton said the play is going to be a semi-formal occasion, and I know there's no way Roderick is going to wear a tie for a middle school play. But today wasn't bad at all. Wasn't all bad, sorry. Toward the end of the practice, Archie Kelly tripped over Rodney James and chipped his tooth because he couldn't stick his arms out to break his fall. That's a solid picture. So the good news is they're letting us trees carve out armholes for the performance. Tuesday. Tonight was the big production of The Wizard of Oz. The first sign that things were not going to go well happened before the play even started. Oh my. I was peeking. Whoa. Guys, I got enough sleep last night. I don't know what this is. I was peeking through the curtain to check out how many people showed up to see the play. And guess who was standing right up front? My brother Roderick, wearing a clip-on tie. He must have found out I was singing, and he couldn't resist the chance to see me embarrass myself. The play was supposed to start at 8, but it got delayed because Rodney James had stage fright. Let me remind you, Rodney James plays the bush. You'd figure that someone whose job it was to sit on stage and do nothing could just suck it up for one performance, but Rodney wouldn't even budge, and eventually his mom had to carry him off. Bro, he's sweating. Oh, there's Roderick with his clip-on tie. I think clip-on ties aren't that bad. Introduce me to someone who can tell the difference. Play finally got started around 8:30. Nobody could remember the lines, just like I predicted, but Mrs. Norton kept things moving along with her piano. The kid who played Toto brought a stool and a pile of comic books on stage, and that totally ruined the whole dog effect. Dude, I literally... this whole school and just the people around him are just so stupid. I really hate it because look at this. At what point do you, as a teacher, say, "Oh no, like it's fine. He needs to keep himself occupied. Just take him off stage." When it was time for the forest scene, me and the other trees hopped into our positions. The curtains rose, and when they did, I heard Manny's voice. "Bubby!" The one person watching, do you know who Bubby is in our group? Someone's nickname is Bubby. One of the guys. It's either Jake, Caden, Dom, Christian, or Zach. Mine's not Bubby. That'd be humiliating. Great. I've been able to keep that nickname quiet for 5 years, and now all of a sudden the whole town knew it. I could feel about 300 pairs of eyeballs pointing my way. So I did some quick ad-libbing, and I was able to deflect the embarrassment over to Archie Kelly. I think you dropped an apple, Bubby. Greg would say that. But the major embarrassment was still on the way. When I heard Mrs. Norton playing the first few bars of We Three Trees, I felt my stomach jump. I looked out at the audience and I noticed Roderick was holding a video camera. Oh, he's holding it in the other one. That's good. I knew that if I sang the song and Roderick recorded it, he would keep the tape forever and use it to humiliate me for the rest of my life. I didn't know what to do, so when the time came to start singing, I just kept my mouth shut. We three trees from yonder glen. Greg wouldn't sing. For a few seconds there, things went okay. I figured that if I didn't technically sing the song, then Roderick wouldn't have anything to hold over my head. But after a few seconds, the other trees noticed I wasn't singing. I guess they must have thought I knew something that they didn't, so they stopped singing too. Now the three of us were just standing there, not saying a word. Mrs. Norton must have had thought we forgot the words to the song because she came over to the side of the stage and whispered the rest of the lyrics to us. Whilst we are rooted to our spots, she doth move on lighter feet. I don't care. The song is only about 3 minutes long, but to me, it felt like an hour and a half. I was just praying the curtains would go down so we could hop off the stage. That's when I noticed Patty Farrell standing in the wings, and if looks could kill, us trees would be dead. She probably thought we were ruining her chances of making it to Broadway or something. Seeing Patty standing there reminded me why I signed up to be a tree in the first place. Oh my, he ended up just throwing an apple at her from the side. Greg. Pretty soon, the rest of the tree started throwing apples too. I think Toto even got in on the act. Somebody knocked the glasses off Patty's head, and one of the lenses broke. Mrs. Norton had to shut down the play after that because Patty can't see 2 feet in front of her without her glasses. After the play was over, my family went home together. Mom had brought a bouquet of flowers, and I guess they were supposed to be for me, but that she ended up tossing them in the trash on the way out the door. I just hope that everyone who came to see the play was as entertained as I was. What mom brings a bouquet of flowers to their son's performance? Wednesday. Well, if one good thing came out of the play, it's that I don't have to worry about the Bubby nickname anymore. I saw Archie Kelly getting hassled in the hallway after 5th period today, so it looks like I can finally start to breathe a little easier. Hi there, Bubby. Sunday. With all this stuff going on at school, I haven't even had time to think about Christmas. And it's less than 10 days away. In fact, the only thing that tipped me off that Christmas was coming was when Roderick put his wish list up on the refrigerator. It says, Roderick's wish list. New drums, new van, shrunken head. Roderick's handwriting is kind of iconic. I usually make a big wish list every year, but this Christmas, all I really wanted was this video game called Twisted Wizard. Tonight, Manny was going through the Christmas catalog, picking out all the stuff he wants with a big red marker. Manny was circling every single toy in the catalog. He was even circling really expensive things like a giant motorized car and stuff like that. Stupid kids. So I decided to step in and give him some good big brotherly advice. I told him that if he circled stuff that was too expensive, he was going to end up with a bunch of clothes for Christmas. I said he should just pick 3 or 4 medium price gifts so he would end up with a couple of things he actually wanted. But of course, Manny just went back to circling everything again. So I guess he'll just have to learn the hard way. When I was 7, the only thing I really wanted for Christmas was a Barbie dream house. And not because I like girls' toys, like Roderick said. I just thought it would be a really awesome fort for my toy soldiers. That's a fair assessment. When Mom and Dad saw my wish list that year, they got in a big fight over it. Dad said there was no way he was getting me a dollhouse, but Mom said it was healthy for me to experiment with whatever kind of toys I wanted to play with. Just get him a fort for the regular ones. Like, if he plays with like G.I. Joe characters, get him the G.I. Joe fort. Like, there's toys for this. Come on. Believe it or not, Dad actually won that argument. Dad told me to start my wish list over and pick some toys that were more appropriate for boys. But I have a secret weapon when it comes to Christmas. My Uncle Charlie always gets me whatever I want. I told him I wanted the Barbie dream house, and he said he'd hook me up. Brother. On Christmas, when Uncle Charlie gave me my gift, it was not what I asked for. He must have walked into the toy store and picked up the first thing he saw that had the word Barbie on it. So if you ever see a picture of me where I'm holding a beachfront Barbie, now at least you know the whole story. Wow. That's such a funny picture. Dad wasn't real happy when he saw what Uncle Charlie got me. He told me to either throw it out or give it away to charity. But I kept it anyway, and okay, I admit maybe I took it out and played with it once or twice. That's how I ended up in the emergency room 2 weeks later with a pink Barbie shoe stuck up my nose. And believe me, Roger could never let me hear the end of that one. There's Greg in the hospital. I don't understand why kids shove things up their noses. I never did it. Oh wow. Thursday. Tonight, me and Mom went out to get a gift for the giving tree at church. The giving tree is basically a secret Santa kind of thing where you get a gift for somebody who is needy. Mom picked out a red wool sweater for our giving tree guy. I tried to talk Mom into getting something a lot cooler, like a TV or a slushy machine or something like that. Because imagine if all you got for Christmas was a wool sweater. Yippee. There's the guy getting his wool sweater. I'm sure our giving tree guy will throw his sweater in the trash along with the 10 cans of yams reset his way during the Thanksgiving food drive. Christmas. When I woke up this morning and went downstairs, there were about 1,000,000 gifts under the Christmas tree. When I got started digging around, there were hardly any gifts with my name on them. All of the gifts with names on them had the name Manny on them and from Santa. It's so saddening to see parents who have favorite kids. And even if your parents do have a favorite kid and they keep it low key, that's fine. If they do something like this, it's just ridiculous. It's like, okay, one of the kids spoiled and the other one doesn't get attention. You're just causing more problems. But Manny made out like a bandit. He got every single thing he circled in the catalog. No lie. So I'll bet he's glad he didn't listen to me. My man's got a speaker with a microphone, a tank, a toy plane, a keyboard, a toy robot, a football, a toy phone, an MP3 player with headphones, a camera, a fort, a basketball hoop. I think I said a dinosaur, but a dinosaur and a car. I hate Manny. I did find a couple of things with my name on them, but they were mostly books and socks and stuff like that. I opened my gifts in the corner behind the couch because I don't like opening gifts near Dad. Whenever someone opens a gift, Dad swoops right in and cleans up after them. So what? I gave Manny a toy helicopter and I gave Roderick a book about rock bands. Roderick gave me a book too, but of course he didn't wrap it. The book he got me was Best of Lil Cutie. Lil Cutie is the worst comic in the newspaper, and Roderick knows how much I hate it. I think that this is the 4th year in a row I've gotten a Lil Cutie book from him. I gave Mom and Dad their gifts. I get them the same kind of thing every year, but parents eat that stuff up. It says number 1 mom and number 1 dad. Thanks. Hey, mom and dads are underappreciated. Get to know your parents, get them something genuinely nice, and you'll feel a warmness in your heart. The rest of the relatives started showing up around 11, and Uncle Charlie came at noon. Uncle Charlie brought a big trash bag full of gifts, and he pulled my present out from the top of the bag. The package was the exact right size and shape to be Twisted Wizard game, so I knew Uncle Charlie came through for me. Mom got the camera ready, and I tore open my gifts. Oh no. But it was just an 8x10 picture of Uncle Charlie. Uncle Charlie. This guy. I guess I didn't do a good job of hiding my disappointment, and Mom got mad. Sorry. All I can say is I'm glad I'm still a kid, because if I had to act happy about the kind of gifts grown-ups get, I don't think I could pull it off. I knew the perfect place for this. I knew you'd love it. Bless this house. I went up to my room to take a break for a while. A couple of minutes later, Dad knocked on my door. He told me he had a gift for me out in the garage, and the reason it was out there because it was too big to wrap. And when I walked down to the garage, there was a brand new weight set. I would be thrilled if I got a freaking weight set like that. He's got the bench press. He's got a ton of weight so he can progress. Dude, I would love that. I'd hit the bench every day if I had it in my garage. That thing must have cost a fortune. I didn't have the heart to tell Dad that I kind of lost interest in the whole weightlifting scene. So when the wrestling unit ended last week, so I just said thanks instead. I think Dad was expecting me to drop down and start doing some reps or something, but I guess I excused myself and went back inside. At about 6, all the relatives cleared out. I was sitting on the couch waiting, watching Manny play with his toys, feeling pretty sorry for myself. Then Mom came up to me and said that she found a gift behind the piano with it, and it said from Santa. The box is way too big for Twisted Wizard, but Mom pulled the same big box trick on me last year when she got me a memory card for my video game system. Okay. So I ripped open the package and pulled out my present. Only this wasn't Twisted Wizard either. It was a giant red wool sweater. At first, the only first time this happened in stream. At first, I thought Mom was playing some kind of practical joke on me because this sweater was the same kind we bought for our Giving Tree guy. But Mom seemed pretty confused too. She said she did buy me a video game and that she had no idea what the sweater was doing in my box. And then I figured it out. I told Mom there must have been some kind of mix-up and I got the Giving Tree guy's gift and he got mine. Mom said she used the same kind of wrapping paper for both our gifts, so she must have written the wrong names on the tags. But then Mom said that this was really a good thing because the Giving Tree guy was probably really happy he got such a great gift. It's a Christmas miracle, she says. I had to explain that you need a game system and a TV to play plus Twisted Wizard, so the game was totally useless to him. Oh. Even though my Christmas was not going that great, I'm sure it was going a whole lot worse for the Giving Tree guy. Jerks. It's almost like that's almost like getting someone like a car waxing kit that's really nice and like you open it and you're like, this is great, and then you realize like the person you gave it to doesn't have a car. Like, well, what do I do with this? I kind of decided to throw in the towel for this Christmas. I headed up to Rowley's house. I forgot to get a gift for Rowley, so I just slapped a bow on the little cutie book Roger gave me, and that seemed to do the trick. Hey, get your friends good gifts. Come on, people. Rowley's parents have a lot of money, so I can always count on them for a good gift. But Rowley said that this year he picked out my gift himself. Then he brought me outside to show me what it was. From the way Rowley was hyping his present, I thought he must have got me a big screen TV or motorcycle or something. But once again, I let my hopes get too high. Rowley got me a big wheel. I guess I would have thought this was a cool gift when I was in the 3rd grade, but I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with one now. Rowley was so enthusiastic about it. Oh my gosh! Stop yawning. Rowley was so enthusiastic about it that I tried my best to act like I was happy anyway. Gee, thanks. We went back inside and Rowley showed me his Christmas loot. Fortnite loot. He sure got a lot more stuff than I did. He even got Twisted Wizard, so at least I can play it when I come over to his house. That is, until Rowley's dad finds out how violent it is. And boy, you have never seen someone as happy as Rowley with his little cutie book. His mom said it was the only thing on his list that he didn't get. Well, I'm glad someone got what they wanted today. It's a Christmas miracle! New Year's Eve. Oh, we're actually a couple days away from the new year. New Year's Eve. In case you're wondering what I'm doing in my room at 9 p.m. on New Year's Eve, let me fill you in. Earlier today, me and Manny were horsing around in the basement. I found a tiny black ball of thread on the carpet, and I told Manny it was a spider. Then I held it over him and pretending like I was gonna make him eat it. Hey, that's just classic fun. When I was about to let Manny go, he slapped my hand and made me drop the thread. And guess what? That fool swallowed it. So kid gets for being a little brat. Well, Manny completely lost his mind. He ran upstairs to where Mom was, and I knew I was in big trouble. Manny told Mom I made him eat a spider. I told him there was no spider, and there was just a tiny ball of thread. There's him running. There's Greg explaining. A lot of pictures of Greg explaining, not diagrams. Mom brought Manny over to the kitchen table. Then she put a seed, a raisin, and a grape on a plate and told Manny to point to the thing that was the closest in size to the piece of thread he swallowed. Manny took a while to go over the things on the plate. Then he walked over to the refrigerator and pulled out an orange. So that's why I got sent to bed at 7, and I'm not downstairs watching the New Year's Eve special on TV. What a stupid kid. And that's also why my only New Year's resolution is to never play with Manny again. Let's see, we actually made it past halfway today. And since there's Thursday, Friday of this week, we'll finish the book on those 2 days. So they'll be shorter. We'll start another book next week. All right. For the one person watching, I don't know who it is. This is the question and answer section. Any questions about two-seater? Anything you saw on the show that you want to ask a question about or get clarification about? Ask the question. I am just going to say something about Greg and getting gifts. I really think that he is just a disrespectful kid. He doesn't know how to be thankful for what he got, because obviously there's people in this world who get nothing. They just don't get anything. And Greg isn't even thankful for the small things that he did get. Obviously, he can continue to. Obviously, comparing what he got, his stuff, to what Manny got will make his stuff look small, and that's why he's pouting. So Greg's got to learn to not compare. Will that come in the series? Probably not. Will that come with age? Maybe. Depends on who you are. So, with that, I'm just going to end it because I went a little long. This has been Storytime with Two-Seater. We're almost finished with our book, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. This is the first book in the series. We will finish it up by the end of this week. And yeah, Thursday and Friday, 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for those who are in New York. So, see you then.